Okay, folks, we are live on Monday night as usual. We're joined by the man himself here. And this week we have a really great guest. We met him over at the Scottish Fly Fair in Stirling, and they're doing something rather unique. Would you like to introduce Mr. Han?
Yes, indeed. Evening all, evening everybody. I'd like to introduce Mr. Scott Mason of the Scottish Fishing Passport. And Scott, good evening, first of all.
Yes, good evening.
Scott, how did you give us a bit of the history of you yourself as an angler?
Yep. So I've been fortunate enough here in Scotland to fish all my life. I've just turned 26 just back in December there. So in terms of angling career, it's quite short in comparison to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I was fortunate enough to get into the industry as a fishery manager through the route of an apprentice back in 2012. So yeah, it was great to sort of exchange the love of the sport into actual day-to-day work.
Absolutely.
And from there, it's stemmed to actually grown into a way of life. And a lot of people that work in this industry tell you that it's not a day-to-day job, it's a way of life. And that's what we really found in the short time that I've worked in the industry since 2012. It really has been, it's been excellent. And it's taken me to places that I could never have dreamed of before. So very fortunate to get the opportunities that I got.
Excellent. And speaking of places that you've never been, where are you sitting this evening, Scott?
Yep, I'm sitting in my hometown actually. I live in Stirling, and I'm down here right beside the banks of the River Forth, which is an iconic river. It runs through the heart of Stirling, and it's managed by Stirling Council. And in 2010, it was the best beat in the whole of Scotland.
Wow.
Yep.
Have you ever taken a fish off it?
I fished it a lot. I've only caught a handful of fish from here. I fished the River Teith more than I fished the River Forth. That's the main tributary of the Forth. And yeah, it's a beautiful little river.
Awesome. Awesome.
Scott, before we get into the nice, what you're doing now, what like day to day, what's involved in being a fishery manager?
It's great. Now the role of the fishery manager has changed so much, and unfortunately I don't get out of the office as much as I used to, even in such a small number of years. I have a team of guys who work with me day to day, and they work on the River Forth and the River Teith, and they look after the sort of day-to-day runnings of what happens on the ground. I'm office-based, look after the budgets, ensure the guys get paid, and answer any questions. A big part of the job just now is consulting to Scottish Government and any consultations that are coming out. And, you know, it was well publicised last year that there was a deplete in the salmon stocks throughout Scotland, if not the world. So there's a lot of work going on just now, and Scottish Government have got numerous consultations out that people like myself get asked to consult on. So they take up a number of hours, and hours that I would much rather be spending out on the riverbank engaging with my anglers, but it's work that it needs to be done.
Yeah. And are you happy to make a comment about what do you think's going on with salmon, or do you want to?
Yeah. You know, it's salmon, they've been declining here in central Scotland. We've seen a huge decline. In 2010, you know, we had nearly 1,400 fish caught, and then last year, no, it's not a lot of years later, 8 years, and we're down to around about 150. You know, that drop is astronomical, and it can't continue like that. So work now is happening, and the people like the Atlantic Salmon Trust are doing sterling work. And, you know, I'm very friendly with Ken Whelan and admire the chap a lot. And seeing what they're doing now, I just wish they could have done it a few years ago.
Yeah. Because
we had the volume of stock there that we could have monitored a lot easier than having to monitor what we've got left. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of, obviously, it's well publicised about the avian predation, and that needs to be controlled. You know, we're not here as fishery managers. We don't want to go out and kill all the cormorants or all the goosanders. We actually, as fishery managers, we do like nature and we do like wildlife, and for things to work, we need a balance. And at the minute, that balance isn't working.
Okay. And are you you're saying there about the birds, and it's kind of a touchy subject, but rightly, I mean, they're part of nature.
Yep.
What are you doing? Anything differently? Is it habitat work you're doing, Scott, or is it more focused on what's happening at sea, or?
Yep, what we are limited to what we can do, because we here on the Forth and the Teeth, we are just a proprietor, so we just own the fishing rights.
Okay.
We are controlled by the Forth District Salmon Fishery Board, and they're doing sterling work as well through work and try and populate rivers again. They're doing a lot of engagement work with schools and things called Fish in the Classroom.
Yeah.
And I believe actually one of the projects was on STV News tonight over here. So, yeah, people like this and organisations like this need to be supported. And if we can't work in unison and work in tandem together between anglers and biologists, you know, it needs to happen, because without the two parties working in line with each other, it's not going to work.
Do you think the anglers can, like your average angler, just your guy out there enjoying a bit of fishing every now and again, do you think he can actually make a contribution, or is it the powers that be holding the whole thing back? Or?
No, I think even the angler which comes here for a day a year or a week a year, whatever, and comes to Scotland to enjoy what we have to offer, I think they are as much as an important factor in the whole situation as a chap who's out here 6 days a week.
Yeah.
You know, these people who are coming over and they're fishing in Scotland on whatever river they like, and they're here for a day or a week, and they're travelling a lot of miles to get here, they are putting huge money into the local economies.
Yeah, I agree totally, and I think that's very important. I don't have a problem, and I do think anglers and scientists, biologists are working very well together. I'm concerned, Scott, about the bridge from what they have to say, the anglers and the biologists, to local government. Now, I happen to know that Forth Rivers Trust is second to none in the work that it's doing. But would you say that's the same throughout Scotland?
I think it'd be unfair for me to comment on the rest of Scotland. From my experience on working with the Forth Rivers Trust and stuff in my capacity as a fishery manager, they are doing a lot of work to engage schools, local communities, and so rivers are not just there for angling, they're there for all to enjoy.
Absolutely.
And, you know, the display they had last week in Stirling at the university for the fly fair, you know, that was second to none. The money and commitment they've put into building up the resources that they've got is there to be seen by anyone.
Yeah. No, like even the wee river tables, like it was phenomenal.
Brilliant.
You couldn't have displayed it any better.
Did you put that up?
Yeah, it's up.
What did you put it up under?
It's on the FishingREAL page.
Have a look at that, people, about small changes you can make to the environment of your own rivers, no matter the size of them, and what we might have been doing wrong for a lot of years. Have a look at that little video. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, very good.
It's kind of, Scott, it's a breath of fresh air. Really, like here in Ireland, we're hammering our local councils, we're hammering the local agencies, we're saying how poor they are and how unresponsive they've been to the anglers. But yet, across for yourselves, you're saying the guys they're doing fantastic work. They're trying everything to get to turn it around.
Yep. And, you know, in Scotland here, salmon fishing is a huge part of the heritage.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who you speak to in the world and where they go fishing, they all want to come to Scotland to catch a Scottish salmon, preferably a springer. You know, that is the trophy fish of them all.
Yeah.
And people travel a long way. You know, the Scandies come here, as you know, Michael, to fish the Dee and places like that. And they have some of the best fishing on their doorstep in the world.
Yeah.
But still, they come to Scotland with the dream that we all have of catching that Scottish springer.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's the ultimate prize. And Scott, what's your experience been like? How have you seen obviously the fishing's not what it would have been, but what ultimately led to the vision, or what was the sort of eureka moment or the aha moment that led from fishery manager to looking at the likes of the passport? How did that all come about?
Yep. So it was months in preparation, and there was a lot of pen to paper. There was a lot of coffee drunk round tables, discussing things with people, the length and the breadth of the country, from the very top right down to the gillies on the Tweed. And I'm in a very fortunate position that I am a fishery manager, and I know the pressures that fishery managers are under. Angler numbers are declining. There's no getting away from that. And whether or not that's because fish stocks are declining or people are moving on to other walks of life, but the pressures are there and they're not going away for fishery managers and fishery owners. So we put the thinking cap on and thought, how can we, as an angler myself and a fishery manager, how can we bridge some of the gaps and help everybody out? So we came up with the idea that something like a big syndicate that would cover the whole of Scotland. And syndicate fishing is readily available over here, and some places it's relatively cheap, other places it can be upwards of £2,000 a rod, and that gives you one named day a week on one river. So if it comes to your named day and the river's a washout, that's you're having to wait and sit back until the river's back fishable and it's your turn again. So we thought that's a little bit outdated. How do we make that into the sort of 21st century, make it new, make it exciting? Because salmon fishing has got to be that. It's got to be exciting. It's got to be fun. And people have got to be able to go out there and enjoy it. And we thought that giving them options was really important. So putting all the rivers available into a pot and then putting it on an online database where it's a booking platform that anglers and members can then pick and choose where they want to go. We thought that was the way forward.
And what was it like approaching these rivers, Scott, and trying to get them on board? Were they? I mean, fishing, salmon fishing in particular, is probably the most traditional, pastime around. Was it hard to sort of make them see a modern way of thinking, or?
It was, to be honest, the fishery owners that I've been dealing with they've been fantastic, and they understand that things have got to change, and it's in their benefit to work along with us because we want to help them. We want to give them revenue, we want to give them anglers, we want to put fish in their book. So they were really keen on the project, and it's been growing, and just about every week just now I have a new beat phoning me up and saying, how can we be involved? Okay. So that's really exciting.
Yeah. And what's involved for the beat owners?
The beat owners, it's very easy from them. There's a huge financial commitment from ourselves. We have purchased a lot of the fishing on there on the passport, and it is there, and we say we want a rod a week or 2 rods a week, and whatever agreement we come to, we pay them for that, and then it goes on the website on the booking platform, and it's there for the anglers to book.
Excellent stuff. So really, there's not much work for them to do really on their side.
No, it's a very hands-off tool.
Yeah.
It's self-managed. Once you become a member, you get your login details, and then you see what fishing's available. And the way the website's been coded is it was really important that people couldn't go through the whole year and book all their fishing all in one go, because it's not been designed for that. And there's platforms out there that you can go and do that, and there's platforms that sell day tickets and everything, and you can go there and you can buy as many as you like. Whereas the passport was there for people like on the association waters. It gave them the opportunity to beef up what they already have and let them tour the country at very, very little cost.
Yeah. On average, like what would be the cost of an association stretch in Scotland?
Yep, they range from anything between about £150 upwards to about £500.
Okay.
So that's, there's some really, really good value tickets out there, and it's how do we link them all together? And I'm still learning every day that I'm finding out that these rivers have club water or have association water, and they catch a lot of fish. And I'm in a position of a fishery manager working in the industry, and I didn't even know these places existed. So if I don't know, how does the anglers know?
Yeah. It's been the same. Like we found our, we're banging our head against the wall. Like there's so much happening in the fishing world, not just salmon and fly fishing, but all aspects of fishing. There's so many good things and so many events going on that nobody hears about them. They're all tucked away in their corner. But Tony, have we anything from the guys so far?
Well, yeah, the guys just starting to join us this evening. Don't forget, if you want to ask Scott any questions, feel free to comment. Use the comment page, the comment section on the cast tonight. I have one question at the moment from Alan Dunn, and it's how are you managing predation on the rivers? Are you allowed to cold cormorants? Because it's over here, it's become a bit of a plague, and cormorants can't be dealt with over here because they're protected by law.
Yep, there is control measures in place throughout Scotland for these avian predation, and that is all managed through Scottish Natural Heritage, and the fishery districts will apply for a licence to cull, and they will then, if the evidence stacks up, they will be granted a number against what their evidence says.
Yeah. Not like that over here.
No, seemingly not. Even when I don't know this, but I've been told that over here people have actually applied, given all the information as you were saying, Scott, but they're refused for some reason. But they must have their reasons.
I don't know.
Yep, and that is, I believe that is under consultation at the moment as well, and how this is managed and how it's measured. So it'll be interesting the coming sort of 12 months to see what comes out of Scottish government around the avian predation.
Scott, we were talking earlier on the figures. Was it 1,400 down to just a couple of hundred fish?
Yep, so round about the 1,400 mark down to 150 last year.
Okay. Now the passport is opening up fishing in loads of different rivers.
Yep.
Is this trend the throughout Scotland, or are some rivers doing better than others, or is it just a real? Are you finding?
Yep, this I would say overall the trend is pretty similar. Most of the rivers have seen a decline in salmon stock, but it's great looking at these figures and tells us a decline in salmon stock. But what it doesn't tell us is, has there been a decline in angler numbers? Is that angling pressure less now than it was 8 years ago? And that's the critical factor. So now that we've been asked as fishery managers, can we record that information? So can we somehow measure how much angling impact we are having on a river? So it'll be interesting to see how this is gauged going forward.
Thanks, Scott. Maybe you're covering the microphone up here, everybody, or
Is that better?
that's maybe better now. Yeah.
Go ahead, chat, Scott.
Yep. So as I was saying there, the decline is indicative right the way across the country, and it's all good and well looking at these figures, and it's all doom and gloom about how the salmon stocks are declining.
Yeah.
But what it doesn't tell us in these figures is the angling pressure. Over the last 8 years, has the angler rod numbers on the rivers dropped? Is the angler A fishing as hard as angler B?
Yeah.
And that's a big factor, that if we don't know how many rods are on the river or how many hours they are putting in, how do we know that the impact just now is the same as the impact it was in 2010?
Yeah.
So Scottish Government, Marine Scotland have asked us going forward if we can, especially managers, record this information. So we'll be asked to report on how much angling pressure we had during the 2019 season.
maybe just Scott, try adjusting the phone a wee bit there. I don't know if you hit a volume button or something, buddy. But this is talking about angling pressure.
Yeah.
Maybe been dictating, why there's
Oh,
so
absolutely.
few fish. But I've heard a lot of guys saying we're sort of now in the age of information. There's never been as much information available to the angler. We've got the weather on our phones. We have water levels on our phones. We're seeing the latest catches. And I know a lot, like even myself, a lot of guys sitting back waiting to see when it's going to be perfect to go fishing. And as you say, like maybe that's the reason why we're not seeing as many people out fishing.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yep, that's grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good and well having all this information available to us, but here in Scotland last year, we've seen fish caught during the warmest months of the year. During July and August,
Yeah.
we had salmon caught throughout the country. That if people hadn't went and tried and they'd read the textbooks and stuff like that, and it told them that it was too hot, it was too low,
Yeah.
there'd have been no fish caught. So, do we need to go back to we just go and enjoy it and not worry about the water levels or the water temperatures and everybody saying in the spring about that magic number 40? Do we just ignore all that and just actually go and enjoy the day out?
Yeah. So
That sounds good.
absolutely. We were talking at the Sterling show and we were doing those wee presentations, and there is genuinely, you can do something every day to hook a salmon. There's some tactic you can employ. There's some method you can put into practice where it'll give you the chance of hooking a fish. Now the fish have to be there, but
No, more importantly, you have to be there.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You have to
Totally.
be there. You're not going to catch them sitting looking
No.
at a computer screen.
No, definitely not. Listening to the weather forecast.
Scott, are you providing the information? Are you getting into that aspect of it? Or are you just there as a service?
No, we're just completely there as a service. There's platforms out there that does provide that service, but at the moment we're not interested in doing that. We want people to go fishing, and as we see it, if we had a summer like we had in 2018, and you're already a member and paid your subscription fees in January or February, and it comes to July and August and it's hot, it's low, but you can go fishing and it's not going to cost you any more money, are you going to go and try?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely. So Scott, I mean, what's involved in the passport for the end user, for the angler? What do they need to do, or how does it? What's on offer for them?
Yep, and it's really exciting, and it's been developed from an angler's point of view, and we developed it in coordination with a lot of anglers throughout the country. There was a lot of input put in to make sure this was done right.
Okay.
And it would have been very easy to just do something, put it out the very next day, and that'd have been it. But this was about 6 months in the making before it even went anywhere near being live. So the end goal for the angler is that they can enjoy fishing throughout Scotland at a very affordable price. And we want to put rods on rivers. We want the anglers to actually be able to go out there and enjoy it, not worry about how they're going to book it, where they're going to get it, how do they get there. It's all about just going out on the river and enjoying the surroundings and the environment. And the whole experience of salmon fishing, whether you get a dram or you get your lunch or you're staying in a local hotel, that's the whole package. And that's what, we're here to create. It's not catching a fish now is an absolute bonus, and we all dream of that. But going there, being on the riverbank with good company and good friends, having a dram if you're in the hotels, staying locally, and just enjoying the whole experience. That's what we're trying to create.
Excellent. Excellent.
The drams just seem to be a big part of it.
Yeah, drams are important when it comes to Scottish salmon fishing.
Yeah. Is that the secret, do you think, Scott? Or?
That's the secret, yeah.
Yeah, I know a few guys that like the drams. Anything from the guys, Tony, tonight so far?
Yeah, we were talking about predation earlier on. Scott, how are you finding the whole salmon farming thing in Scotland? We touched on it in last week's show. Well, more touched on it. It was about the whole show. So what effect is it having over there?
Yep, the effect to us here, where I work as a fishery manager, is we're on the east coast, so there's no salmon farming impact directly to us. So I think if we're on the west coast, yes, I would be commenting on how potentially negative or impact that would be creating. But here on the east coast, we're very fortunate that we don't have any fish farms.
Why are there no fish farms on the east coast?
I think it's because of the environment. On the west coast, these fish farms are set in bays and in sort of sea locks, and we just don't have that on the east coast.
Wow. Okay. Okay, ducks.
A more sheltered environment, I would say, on the west.
Yeah.
Whereas on the east, our rivers run into estuaries and then they're straight out into the sea.
Whereas you got all the wee bays and you've all the broken land on the east coast.
Yeah.
Or sure, on the west.
West.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So Scott, you've got that set up. It's the whole package for the customer.
Yep.
You're only allowed to book 2 days at a time.
Yep.
So I mean, if I wanted to book a day now and a day in October,
yep,
would I have to fish those 2 days to be able to book again, or can I use 1 day?
Yep. So it was the way it's been set up. You know, we modelled out a lot of options before we actually made our mind up on what we wanted to do.
Okay.
One option was that, yes, book the fishing right through. You know, we've got fishing on the Tweed in October and November. Now that's going to be very sought after. So if somebody goes in there and books that just now, that means that their account is going to be locked until then. So they would turn around and say to me that they fished 2 days and they've not got the value for money. Whereas actually limiting how much days in advance that the fishing is available means that people have got to use what's in front of them.
Yeah.
If they want to go fishing, they've got to book and use the days that are available for something like the next 4 weeks. Whereas if we had it right through the season, people would then book in September and October when the fishing is generally better, and then their account would be locked until September and October.
Okay.
So it was coded down in London. It was sent down there. The package was sent down there to be looked at by an expert, and they came up with some coding that allowed us to lock the accounts down. So somebody goes in and books 2 dates, their account locks down, and then they fish day 2 dates, and their account opens back up.
Right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually.
So does it take you then, Scott, to use the 2 dates, or does it every time you fish a day, it gives you back a day to book?
Yep, as long as your account has capacity up to 2 dates, you can book. So you could have fish 1 day, book another, fish 1 day, book another, or you could just wait until you fished your 2 days, and then that would be you sorted. But it had to be coded like this because, you know, for the way the project works, yes, it is first come, first served. Yes, the rods are limited, but by putting the coding in, like your account locks down after 2 days, it then again allows everybody a fair chance at what they want.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair.
And this is really there's fishing in all aspects of Scotland. I mean, there's trout fishing, there's a wee bit of everything. There's trout, salmon, and it's all over Scotland, really.
Yep, and it's a bit of everything. You know, we have salmon fishing right from the very top of the country right down to the Tweed, and the aim is in a few years' time that we have fishing on every district in the country, and that would be huge, and that is massive. And with a name like the Scottish Fishing Passport, that has to be the goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're working towards that, and the support we're getting from our members at the moment and from the fishery managers that we're working with is fantastic.
Okay. And how is it? Are you finding it interesting how the consumers using the passport? Is everybody using it in a different way, or is there a way you would recommend it to be used, Scott?
Yep, it's been pretty much used quite similar. There's chaps who have booked fishing to fishing places that have told me they'd never think about fishing ever before. Excellent. But it's there, and it's not costing them any more money. They're going to go try it.
Yeah.
So it's worked very nice. You know, use it to your advantage. And if you want to book 2 days in the first week and then fish them, and then book 2 days the next week or 2 days the same week, it's completely up to yourself. You know, there's no limit on how much times you can make that booking. The only bit of limiting is against how many days you can hold at one time.
Excellent. Excellent.
And it's a 12 months membership. You know, if you subscribe today, it will see you through till March 2020.
Okay.
You'll get a bit of grayling fishing in the winter as well, and along with some rainbow trout fishing and things. When people just are looking for something to get out the house,
Yeah.
we'll provide that. And you know, you've paid your subscription fees in March 2019. It comes to December 2019, and they costs are completely absorbed. They're forgotten about.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were telling me earlier on, you are the only fishing product, I believe, offering a direct debit.
Yep, that's what we believe, and the research is telling us that we can't find anything else that is set up by complete proper direct debit. So we use a system called Go Cardless.
Yep.
It's probably the biggest direct debit supplier in the world, and they are members. And it's been funny actually. We thought that one would be a lot more popular than the yearly fee, but the yearly fee is more popular. So the direct debit option is there, and if people want to sort of look at a monthly expenditure instead of the one-off hit, that's completely fine. That's there, and the option again, it's all about options,
Yeah.
and the options there to be used.
Oh, super. And what does that break down to per month?
It's £49 a month.
Yeah, so your phone bill probably costs more than that.
Yeah, my phone bill costs more than that. Yeah,
Phone bills, your Sky bills, more than £49 a month.
and that, you know, the fishing that we've had in the spring so far, you know, these rods are averaging £65 a trip.
Okay.
So we've got, you know, it's modelled. When we tell people about the project, we say, right, it's 12 months. So if you get 10 days salmon fishing in these 12 months, it works out at £49 at £47.90 pence a trip. If you're paying the one-off fee, you know, most of the rods on there are more than that.
Yeah.
So it really is, it's for nothing.
Absolutely.
But we've got, you know, working saying that yes, if you get 10 trips a year and it works out at £47, that's a bare minimum, because within coming up to now 4 weeks, we have two chaps who are both going for their 8th outing.
Excellent. Yeah, well, it's just pure value for money, really.
Yep.
Well, some of the guys got here who are commenting this evening and are saying they've obviously tried the system and they can't recommend it enough. And other guys who don't know the system are trying to get their head around it. So, for those guys and girls, is there a website or something they can go to where they can read the instructions on how to follow this?
Yep. I'll just put this up just now.
Go ahead, man. Yeah, go ahead, guys. I was on the website earlier on doing a wee bit of investigating, and investigating. But it couldn't be easier. I mean, all the information's there. Scott, go ahead. Share the link with the guys, and it'll be with them.
Are we getting that?
It's completely new, and you know, people are going to be apprehensive about something new.
Yeah.
But you know, the comments that we're getting from the people who are using it is fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're telling us that, you know, it's the best thing to happen in Scottish angling in something like 10 years. And that is feedback that 6 months ago we could never have dreamed of getting. So it's to us it's remarkable really how quick it's took off.
We're getting that, Tony, were we?
Just check.
You appear to have frozen on us, Scott, and we didn't see your contact details.
Here we go.
Well done. Got them now.
Super.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, if people want to know more about it, they can drop me an email there on scott@theexperiencedpassport.co.uk.
Yeah.
Or there's a full about us section on the website and question and answers and frequently asked questions. So everything's there that they need to know.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Frequently asked questions, your FAQs, remember?
I didn't know that is what that meant. I thought it was facts. Sorry.
But what's the biggest one you're seeing, Scott? What's the one question you're seeing time and time again? Or
The one question, the biggest one is people think that it's limited, and they think, oh, I can only book 1 day a month, or I'm limited on how many times I can use it.
Yeah.
And that's the one that's been the real stumbling block to everybody that try to get the message across that no, there's no limit on how many times you can book. Just you have space in your account and you can book as much as you like.
yeah, excellent.
Yeah, get out there and fish.
Yeah.
It was set up from an angler's point of view to allow people the opportunity to travel the country at not a lot of cost. And if you pay the yearly fee and it's £479, you then, when it comes to later in the season, you can then afford to maybe stay in the area for a night or book through to fish on another beat while you're up there. And you know, as anglers, we're greedy, and I'm sure you two will appreciate that as well. That if we go somewhere and we catch a salmon and we like it, we're going to go back. So if you can go there with us through the passport and through your membership, and you get to fish for just about for nothing, and you catch a salmon, and the gilly tells you it has availability the next day, and you're off of work, you're going to go back.
Yeah.
You know, it's about creating exposure for the beats as much as anything else as well.
Very good.
And it's another platform for them to get marketing and to get growth and exposure. And again, that if they can get clients to go there who've maybe never been there before, that's returning revenue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully. Yeah. And absolutely, some of the places, as you have said yourself, you haven't even heard of, yet the fishing's pretty good on them. So you're introducing us anglers to that beat, and come 1 May, a great day's angling, fishing, and I think it's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I
I think it definitely opens up the whole thing. And a couple of guys made a comment earlier on because we were talking about anglers sometimes are afraid to try new things. They're a bit hesitant to try new things, but this is, you know, don't be afraid to try anything. This sounds absolutely brilliant, and like you said, Carl, it opens up a lot of fishing. There's people who would otherwise never think of going there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Scott, do you facilitate local accommodation for the anglers? Will you give them numbers to ring, or do you in fact arrange?
We can do just about anything for them. You know, we have actually at Fly Fair last week. It was really interesting to speak to a couple of Norwegians who are really keen on buying a Scottish fishing passport. You know, 6 months ago, I'd say, like, why would somebody from Norway want to buy a Scottish fishing passport? But they come over here quite a lot when their season's closed.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've asked me if we can give them contact details for hotels that we would suggest. So, yeah, that's completely fine as well. And, you know, if I have the ability and the capacity, as I have done for the last few weeks, I've been out and actually guided and looked after my clients. You know, it doesn't cost them any more money. I've been there, I've made them tea and coffee, I've had the net on my back on the River North Esk, which I fish just about every couple of weeks. I know the river pretty well, and I've took 9 clients there in the last sort of 3 weeks that had never fished it before. So
wow.
It was really important for me because I knew the river so well, and to me that's probably the best river in Scotland, and I want them to go there and experience and feel the love of it that we feel. So yeah, I went with them, and unfortunately we lost 2 fish in 2 outings, but we didn't manage to land any. But it was just the whole experience. You know, they were getting a hosted trip, and it didn't cost them any more money.
Excellent. And a few wee drams for buy.
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 of them as well. Yeah.
Excellent, brilliant. That says it all, actually. The Norwegians are enjoying themselves out of their season, coming over here. Awesome.
And it's an avenue that, to be honest, when I set the project up, it was one that I never even thought about exploring, because I thought that the avenues have all been looked at, But these Norwegians last week in Stirling were telling me, this is brilliant because we can come to Scotland and find our hotel quite central, and then over the space of a week, along with all the other fishing they've got secured, maybe a couple of days on the Tay or the Tweed or whatever, they can then start to beef it up for not a lot of money. So if they're making 3 or 4 trips in the spring to Scotland, they've got it paid.
Yeah.
Very good, and it makes it worth their while.
Yeah, and I was very surprised a few weeks ago. My phone pinged actually, and I'd sold a passport to somebody in South London.
Yeah.
So to get that exposure and that growth in such a short period of time is actually quite remarkable.
Yeah. I know I've only been to Scotland a few times now, but you go over and you book your beat or where you're staying. I know whenever we come over, so you come to a set place and you're in the same place for maybe 3 or 4 days, and you've blown $1,000. You've blown maybe £1,000, Scott.
Yeah.
Yep.
And whereas this, for less than half, you could have a different location.
That's very appealing to me, actually.
Yeah.
And more or less a choice of a different location if it's available. Yes.
Yep, and and that's it. It's all about choice. And if one river in Scotland is washed off, I'm sure there'll be somewhere else in the country that is completely fishable.
Yeah.
And it gives the angler at least the ability to maybe go there for not a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Super.
And throughout the process, Scott, setting the whole thing up, what's been the biggest hurdle? What's been the biggest sticking point for you?
The biggest sticking point has been, and it's been actually getting people engaged in it. It's something new, and that's been the biggest hurdle. It's been great. The sort of buy-in from the fisheries has been fantastic, but trying to get the anglers to commit and actually understand what the project's all about has been the biggest stumbling block, because yes, it's something new. I'm fortunate that a lot of people know who I am, so that's always good. And it's been the biggest stumbling block has been getting people to understand what the project can give them. And that's what it's all about, is what can we do for you? How can we make you enjoy your salmon fishing just that little bit more? How can we put your boots on a different riverbank, somewhere that you've probably never been before? Yeah.
No, that's...
I have a list of rivers up towards that east coast, up towards the Wick. What do you call a really lovely river about 30 miles down goes?
Thurso?
No, Thurso's way up there.
Yeah.
Below Wick. It's a way. Anyway, there's some beautiful rivers up there. You could actually, if you joined, subscribed, you could literally take a tour up there.
Yeah, you could. And the rivers that you've mentioned there, the fishery managers who are up on the River Wick are really interested. Are they really interested in this project? Because the Wick is.
I fished the Wick. I
It's
got
a
put off
beautiful
by
river.
mosquitoes, but apart from that, they're big mosquitoes. Anyway, God, I wish you could remember this other place, because everybody will know it. But that's good that the managers are coming out supporting us. I mean, a week up that east coast would be awesome.
Yeah.
Rather than going to foreign parts like other people do. But anyway, we won't say anything about that.
And it's the project, is absolutely huge. And Scotland, as a fishing country, if you look at it on a map, it's made up of the majority of water. So for us to start off and be able to cover everything that everybody wants is impossible. Yeah. So, as we're telling people through our social media channels and stuff, and if they sign up to become a member and they are then saying, well, I'm going up north for a week, I'm going to be in this area, could you source me any fishing in there? If we can get it and it's financially viable for us to do it, we will try our best and damnedest to put them there.
Awesome.
It's their passport, and we want them to enjoy it. And it's fine for me to create it, and I think that these beats are great and I enjoy them, but they might not be for everybody. So we need the input from the angler to allow us to develop. And as the year goes on, the passport can now only grow. As we're now looking to summer fishing, the summer fishing locations will change from the spring fishing locations, and then once we get into the back end, sort of August, September, October, the places that are fished in the summer might not suit higher water, so we'll not be there. And I think that's important, that we're not fixed to any one place.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Like smaller syndicates, as you were saying, you have one day a week on that one river, on that beat, and that's your lot. Whereas we can go from river to river. That's very clever. I like that. Yeah.
Do you something for us,
Much
Tony?
more mobile. Yeah, Scott, I've got a question here from Sean McGarry. He says, do you think it's fair to say that the passport provides fishing on less productive beats at prime time and more prestigious beats in non-prime time? Sorry, I haven't got my teeth on.
Prestigious.
Yeah, that's easy for you to say.
Yep. And again, we need to work with the fishery managers we're working with them for them to give us what fishings they can. And now going forward, they are coming forward and saying, right, we can give you a bit more here, we can give you a bit more there, we're a bit quiet. And they would rather see rods on the river than the beats being empty.
Oh, yeah.
And, for beats to lie empty, and it happens a lot, it's silly, because if nobody's fishing, nobody's catching fish. And to sell fishings in Scotland, you need to be catching fish, and you're going to struggle to sell fishing on the back of a blank week or a blank fortnight. So to have rods in the water is really important. And as we said, we've set this up. There's been a huge financial commitment to get this off the ground. So we need the anglers now to support us, to allow us to develop and tell us where they want to see on board.
Yeah.
Is there a particular river or area that they're really interested in? So,
Sorry about that, Scott. Helmsdale.
Yep.
Helmsdale, yep.
Have we got anything on the Helmsdale yet?
We don't know, unfortunately. The Helmsdale is pretty private, and the association what are on the Helmsdale is managed pretty tight.
Right. Okay.
Just on that note, Scott, do you have a list of the rivers on the passport system on the website?
Not on the website, but we can email them. The way the booking platform has been set up, that has been coded that only shows something like the next 4 weeks in advance.
Yep.
It's a bit of a stumbling block, because we want people to obviously see what's there, but we don't want them to book it. And to show it and not allow them to book it, it was going to cost a lot more money for to be able to do that.
Yeah,
so it's on Facebook. It's free to put it on social media. We'll send out on social media weekly updates of what fishing's available in the coming weeks. Yep. But again, it's angler's passport. It's them. It's there for them. And if they tell us what they want, we'll try our damnedest to get it for them.
Excellent. So just guys, get on, follow the pages, stay on the website. I was on earlier. It's all there. All the roads that are available. You can see how many are available, what days are, where the location is, and just get out and do a wee bit of fishing. Anything from yourself?
No, I'm just working out how I'm going to take a week off and go up the east coast of Scotland.
Well, you can go from Monday evening.
I have to be back for next Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what your record's been like?
I know, but okay. Awesome. Brilliant.
Scott, is there anything else you'd like to add, or could you sum up the Scottish Fishing Passport?
Yep, it's there for a tool in the toolkit of salmon fishing for people to call on whenever they need it. It could sit there and you have all your other fishing booked, and then you fancy an away day and it's there. And it can sit dormant, or you could use it every week of the season. But it's an exciting project. It's affordable. It's providing opportunities and options. And the main thing is that people have fun. And I think there can be a lot of negativity around angling, whether on social media or whatever. But the most important thing for everybody is that they're on the riverbank and they're enjoying themselves, because the aquatic environment it's a really great place to be.
Yeah,
it is, absolutely. Would it be fair to say, Scott, one price, one passport, lots of locations?
Yeah, that sounds quite good, that one, yeah.
Good. That's off his website.
Yeah.
Do you think that was
Yeah.
too for me?
Have you seen that somewhere before?
You two on the wall there.
Excellent. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Anything?
No, that's not. If somebody was to offer something like that for me here, that
Yeah.
would be, if I was in Scotland right now, Scott, you'd already have me signed up.
Yep.
It's a no-brainer. I mean, you were saying you've got guys now on their 8th day out or 9th day.
8th day coming up, yep.
8th day,
And and people, and the fishing that they've had in their 8 days, or the 8th day coming up, has been really good. They've been on the North Escombe, which is potentially one of the best beats in Scotland. They've been on Wood End on the D, which we believe caught the first fish last season on the D system. And we've got 2 springers from there. They've been down on the Tweed. They've been on the Tay at Cargill, on the Tay at McClure Fishings.
Yeah.
Beats that catch fish.
Yeah. The Esk, Scott, it's something you don't really hear guys mentioning a lot.
No, it's very sort of well kept as the North Est. There's not a lot of fishing availability on it.
Okay.
So for us to be able to have three rods a month to offer to our members is pretty good.
Yeah.
We managed to secure 2 days back to back in March. We managed to get a Tuesday and a Wednesday, which gave 6 rods for the month of March, which was excellent.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 rods a month on a beat, which is sought after, is really, that's the most prestigious part of the whole thing.
Excellent. Tony, anything from the guys before we?
No, like I say, it's the guys they're very interested in the system. The guys that already know about it, highly recommend it.
Okay.
They've already tried, so they've tried and tested it, and they seem to love it. And I think it's just a matter of trying to,
spreading the good news.
Exactly. Just spreading the word and give it a go. I know if I'm going over to Scotland, I'd seriously consider it.
Absolutely.
That's one for you to do this 12th of July.
That's true. That's true. Yes. I'd have to spread myself about the place. But it's like Carl said, trying to get the time.
Yeah.
Trying to get the time. I would definitely love it. I've never fished Scotland. I've fished England, Wales, and I've fished over here, north and south. But I've never fished Scotland. I definitely want to tick that one off the list.
Well, you get your plane tickets organised,
absolutely,
and I'll pick you up at the airport.
Happy days. That's that sort of.
No more dramas for you because you're.
Oh no!
I don't give that man any drams, Scott.
No. Well, I had a really good St. Patrick's weekend, not a day. Weekend.
Pity about the rugby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the rugby was good. I enjoyed Saturday.
Well, no, you might have enjoyed Saturday, but we didn't. But well done, Scotland. Let me tell you.
Well done.
A fantastic comeback to be from where they were to be able to get back in contention.
Absolutely. So everybody get on, have a look at Scott's website if you're curious, and I'm sure plenty of you are. Go on, see what you think. Tell your friends, tell your associates. Don't have to be fishermen yet. Just tell them that there's a passport system running that could give you real good time up in Scotland from anything from a couple of days to, if you fish, to a week if you keep on fishing and emptying your passport.
Excellent. Anything else from yourself, Scott?
No, just a massive thanks to you guys for giving us the opportunity to come on.
Yeah, 100%, buddy.
Pleasure.
100%.
Very enjoyable, Scott. Thank you very much indeed.
We'll get the links up later on, Tony.
Yep. Don't forget, guys, as usual, if you have any questions that haven't been answered or you suddenly think of something, keep posting away on the comment section. We will address your questions, your queries over the next couple of days. That's, and Scott, we'll be working with Scott as well. So if you have any queries, certainly we're here to help. As always, we're here to help.
Might be another few days before you remember that river again.
Helmsdale.
There's about 20 people have said Helmsdale, so there you go. We'll keep you right. Always keep Card right.
Here, Scott, thanks very much. And we'll keep spreading the good news. Certainly, opportunity for
Brilliant.
everybody.
Absolutely brilliant.
Okay, man.
Right, cheers, guys.
You, Scott. Thank you.
Cheers.
Night night.